Assalamu alaikum. This is a topic that I've been thinking of doing for a while. Today I got around to completing this presentation. It deals with respect, which is linked to true love. Let me explain what it means, but at the end, we would understand what it means and who is deserving of respect.
For a man. Most people get mad when I say this, but I'll say it anyway. Respect matters more. In a romantic relationship, respect fuels a man more than intimacy or even love. When a man feels genuinely respected, his testosterone rises. His body surges with energy. He becomes more dominant in the right way, more protective, more focused, healthier. His entire system improves. Respect doesn't just boost hormones, it releases oxytocin and serotonin, the bonding chemicals that make him feel content, fulfilled, and deeply connected to you. When a man hears, "I love you," it makes him feel good. But when he hears, "I respect you," it makes him stronger. It calls out his best self and turns him into a better man for you. So men don't just need intimacy at home, they need to know they are honored there. This is Velatio.
You see, this topic, especially among cultural Muslims, you'd hear incessantly that they're talking about, mutual respect. Respect is not mutual. That's what we established. By the way, this is a secular point of view, but it turns out Islam says the same thing, but in a different way, and would look at how Islam looks at respect. In Quran 4:59, Allah says, "Obey Allah and obey the messenger and those in authority among you." See, this is an order from Allah. So there is no questioning of that. So you have to obey Allah. You have to obey the messenger. So if you do not accept hadith, then you have no way to do this. If you do not understand who has the authority among you, then there's no point of executing this verse. Then it's very important here. Should you disagree on anything, it doesn't say you have to go back to a judge or have some other authority to decide. You have to go back to Allah and His Messenger. And this is very important. At no time you can defer to the authority and say, well, we have to obey no matter what. Because that's not Islam, that's not Quran. How is respect related to love? Allah says in Surah Baqarah 165, he's talking about mushrik, right? They say, they take others as Allah's equal, and it's really shirk. And they love them. You see, how do we know? They love them as they should love Allah. So Allah is demanding love for Himself. And He's actually qualifying here, but the true believers love Allah even more. So the way mushrik love their idols, real moments should love Allah even more. That's Allah saying. You see how it is connected to love? And there's a reason for it, because Allah created us with that love for Allah. So it's His right in demanding more love for Him. It's very logical. Allah actually qualifies that wa huwal ghafurul wadud in Buruj, I think, Surah Buruj. He says He's oft forgiving, and wadud means the epitome of love. Allah is describing Himself as the epitome of love. In ancient Indian culture, they actually say God created everything out of love. So love is the initial emotion for creation. But it's very clear. Al-Wadud is literally the epitome of love. He embodies what love is. Quran 51:56, Allah says, I did not create jinn or humans except to abd. Abd is a term you said to worship, but no, worship does not really capture the scientific meaning of worship. Is like I love him so much that I worship him. In that sense, it's correct, because abd in Arabic is not real abd unless it is motivated by love. See, I call it obey Allah with love. So if you are obeying Allah grudgingly, that's not abd. And here Allah is saying to worship him. It's not very often that he says me, right? But he's demanding that you have to obey with love me. Now let's go back to 459. Allah said, obey Allah, obey Messenger, and those in authority. So how do you obey them? Lovingly, not grudgingly. You see, you do not take it as a burden. In Quran 465, Allah clarified that if there is a judgment from Prophet, you have to take it happily with silm. The word silm, surrender, he uses twice. With no grudge. Happily accept that. And that's what. So only exception given if it is the third entity, the authority among you. Then if there's a dispute and you see there might be a mistake involved, then you refer to Allah and His Messenger. But when it comes to Allah and His Messenger, there is no dispute. There is no asking, why should I bother? Or I don't like it. Then you're not following Allah's order. This one, it connects love and respect. This is a hadith. This is, none of you have faith until I am more beloved to him than his children, his father, and all the people. It's Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim as well. So literally, Prophet is saying that unless you have more love for him, then you have no iman. It's very strict. So how can you have more love for him? Right? Is it something we can control? No. What happens is if you're sincere, you'll have more love because you're created that way. Every human was created with love of Allah and righteous people and the messenger. We are born that way. That's why we call it reverting to Islam, meaning going back to our true nature. Our true nature says that we love Allah and His messenger more than we love ourselves. The word Al-Aziz, which is a name of Allah, one of the traits of Allah, He's the most powerful and strong. But Aziz is somebody who deserves respect. So Allah calls himself the epitome of respect in awe. That's what respect is. Who deserves respect? So for man, it's simple. If you have Islamic leader who is your leader, he deserves respect from you. How about woman? That one is clarified here. Prophet was saying, some people were telling him that I saw some people, some other tribes from Persia or so on, they are prostrating. They are doing sujood in front of either dead or living commanders, the leaders. And he clarified that do not do that. He said, if you were to pass my grave, he's talking about himself, would you prostrate yourself before it? So can you imagine? If we cannot even do sujood, do prostration in front of Prophet's grave, how can you do that to anybody else? It's just not reasonable. So he's clarifying that. And then this profound statement comes, if I were to command anyone to make prostration before another, I would command women to prostrate themselves before their husbands because of the special right over them given to husbands by Allah. So for man, it was the leader, Islamic leader. For a woman, it's the husband. So this is the hierarchy. Allah deserves the most respect. Prophet the next, husband for wife, legitimate leader for male. Now I say, well, what if husband is terrible? There is a case law for that. What happened with Asya, Pharaoh's wife? Husband cannot order something that contradicts Islam. Then it's an obligation to disobey. Just like Force 59 said, if there is a dispute, then you have to refer back to Quran and Hadith. But without that, the respect is God-given. You see the point? So that completes this talk. Assalamu alaikum.